Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's ascent to power followed much international acclaim, yet several roadblocks have made this a difficult year for his leadership. Burdin Hickok, senior global investment strategist and oil and gas consultant, joins me with his thoughts on how macroeconomic developments can help turn things around for el-Sisi. So first, let's talk about the expansion of the canal. Tell me, what is it going to do for the economy?
Well, clearly this is a very important investment by el-Sisi. It's a showcase investment, but economically it's going to benefit Egypt quite a bit. As the global economy continues to recover, there'll be more shipping going through the Suez Canal. It's obviously got significantly more capacity now. So these are much needed revenues, foreign exchange revenues for the Egyptian government.
We're hearing that it could be anywhere from about 8.4 billion additional dollars. It's going to double the canal's capacity, right? And around 97 more ships going through up until 2023. How much of a sizable impact is that going to have, seeing as it's still down the road?
It is down the road, and the reality is that the $8 billion more a year, it's important, but you've got some pretty big deficits, both on the budget side as well as the trade side in Egypt. It will help. It's not going to be a huge factor. On the other hand, the ancillary benefits are probably where Egypt will get the most benefit.
Can you give me some examples?
I'm thinking the development along the Suez Canal area in general. I know that that's a focus of his investment desire, is to build up kind of industrial zones along this whole area. So that's going to help. So it will take time. The criticism is that this is a big showcase investment, and it is. There are other areas that he's trying to bring in foreign investment, such as kind of a new Cairo to the east of Cairo, something like $45 billion investment from the Gulf states. They're large investments, but there is such an enormous unemployment issue in Egypt, particularly youth unemployment, that construction jobs, support jobs for these kinds of investments should make an impact on that youth unemployment.
But we also know that Egypt, of course, has one of the most robust black markets in the MENA region, and that says a lot, right? So when we talk about all of these, wonderful efforts to shore up the economy, where is that money really going to go? Is it going to go back into, the government coffers, which are then going to be transferred back to the people?
I've been in Iraq. I've been to a number of countries in the Middle East. And the black market in most of the countries in the Middle East is a large portion of the overall economy. There's still money going into the economy. Even though it's in the black market, it's not officially recognized, it still helps the economy. I really can't stress enough the instability that arises from the huge youth unemployment levels. You can argue that the Arab Spring was to a large extent started and created by the youth of the Arab world. If el-Sisi wants to further the country and maintain stability, which is an incredibly important aspect of getting international money into the country, youth unemployment is going to be a very big factor.
But then let's talk about how the government is actually going to reduce the deficit. It plans to borrow 262 billion Egyptian pounds. Can the government really afford to take on that much debt against its assets?
It's a short-term, perhaps a quick fix, and they do need to structurally address the deficits, absolutely. But right now, el-Sisi needs to make some short-term decisions that hopefully won't hurt him too much in the long term to shore up security and stability. And more importantly, it's not just the current picture. For international money to get more comfortable with Egypt, and I would argue that Egypt is probably one of the strongest candidates for international capital to come in because of its history. So they need to maintain the security and also the perception that the security and the situation in Egypt will maintain stability.
So where's this money going to come from in the end? I mean, we know that private investors tend to have sort of a knee-jerk reaction, so they may not be the ones who are willing to take on this level of risk. So hedge funds, are we talking about institutional investors who are going to step in and really be the ones that play a prominent role in investment opportunities?
When you say international money, you have regional money first. That is going to be the first money in. Other Arab countries, OPEC countries. They're going to be the first money in from an international standpoint. And you're seeing that already. Other international money, emerging market funds, that kind of thing, institutional money, they will follow that capital. But they're going to be, as you say, more hesitant. And they're going to want to see proof that not only is the current situation under control, but they're comfortable in the next 5 to 10 year horizon that the political situation in Egypt is stable.